Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vivian if you haven't been here before. Right now I'm doing kind of like fashion, beauty, lifestyle videos. And I guess this is probably falling more under that lifestyle category because it's not specifically beauty or fashion. It's, you guessed it, a weight loss and fitness. The point is I am on a weight loss slash fitness journey. I kind of probably like to emphasize fitness and health, like health journey, fitness, because just weight loss has such a negative connotation, I don't know. The whole thing is very weird. This is going to be kind of weird for me to talk about because I know it invites a lot of criticism, but I just kind of want to get out because I've seen videos of people that I follow or that I found who've gone through like a weight loss transformation and a fitness health transformation. And it's really inspiring to see people who like maybe at one point looked like I did and now they look a lot healthier. Not just like, it's not just looks, it's about feeling healthy and being excited about working out and being excited about putting better things into your body, or at least just like being more aware of what it is and how to balance it to work out for you so that you feel better about yourself and just about life in general. So that's what I kind of want to put a disclaimer out first. I'm not like, it's weird for me to be like, I'm not advertising, but you know, talking so positively about weight loss when I've like my whole life I've always been heavier. Like I've always been bigger than my peers. Even when I was playing sports, I played sports all growing up. I played soccer, I danced, I swam. I did all of that consistently, and yet I was always bigger than my friends who didn't do any of that. Part of it's just I have a lower metabolism. That's just like, I've got dealt that super fun card in life, which if you have it too, you know it sucks. And you have to work even harder than other people to like get what you want and to be able to burn fat or lose weight or, you know, do anything like that. But I guess the point is I'm not trying to say there's anything wrong with being, because that's always been like my thing, is very like, don't say anything bad about fat people or I will like fight you, because that's like not cool. You can't make fun of people for their weight, you can't be mean to people for their weight. There's so much discrimination against people who are fat and people who are overweight across the board, everywhere. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But for me, I did this for health reasons. But I guess the point is, so this is really, if you're coming here for like tips and tricks, I can give you like a few things. The thing is, I'm still on my journey. This is just, I did kind of lose 30 pounds within a certain amount of time. I wasn't doing it's not like I was like, I'm gonna lose 30 pounds. It just kind of happened for me, and I just kind of want to talk through my story, both for my own sake and for other people. I want to like help other people if they're in a similar situation, or if you're just curious to know like what I'm doing, what I'm up to, because it's become a big part of my life. So I guess, like I said, I always considered myself bigger, and I'll put up some photos of what I look like in like, I don't know, high school, where I was still like playing sports actively, and I always thought I was bigger than everyone else. Looking back on it, especially compared to where I am now and where I was 30 pounds ago, I'm like, did I have some sort of body dysmorphia? Because I look skinty. I looked so skinty back then compared to now. But I know even compared to my friends, I was not. I still had like some rolls on my back, or like, you know, those things that just make you feel so goddamn self-conscious, especially when you're a woman. It's so hard. But, so I guess where I started gaining more weight was in college. It didn't actually, I mean, the freshman 15 is real. That's like, you know, it's real. Mine was probably more like the senior 75. I don't actually know. I don't have a number on how much, I mean, that could be like completely inaccurate. I don't know how much I gained because I've never been someone who's like kept track of it. That's probably a very relatable thing if you're like anywhere near being slightly overweight, or just a lot of women, I mean people in general, but let's be real, it affects women a lot more than it does men. It doesn't mean it doesn't affect men, but you gotta admit, it affects women a lot more. Our beauty standards are way higher. So I knew I was gonna ramble. This is why I sat down, I wrote down like notes to try to hit the important bits and not ramble. And what am I doing? I'm rambling. I can't help it. I'm trying to keep this like not the longest video in the world, but we'll see how that goes. Oh yeah, I've never been someone who's like, I've never ever wanted to look at a scale. You know, when you go to the doctor's office, I used to always like kind of like glance away and not look at it because I didn't want to know if you're, I mean, I just talked about women specifically, so I'm not going to go into that again. We like to avoid scales. We don't want to be asked about our weight. We don't want to, it's such a thing, which is, it sucks, but that's, I mean, I was like that too. I didn't want to look at the scale, and so that's why I don't have a specific number of how much I gained in what period of time. So the point is, for me, I didn't start gaining really freshman year because I lived on campus. I lived in a dorm and I worked on campus too. So I was walking constantly all day from my dorm to my work, to work, to class, to class, to work, to class, work back to my dorm, to, I mean, everywhere else, dining hall, wherever else you needed to go on campus. I was just walking so much that I didn't have as much time to overeat. And I was just walking a lot, so I was getting my kind of like exercise in that way, even if I don't think I really went to the gym freshman year. Maybe occasionally. I don't think I really did. But sophomore year, I started going more, but the problem was I still only went like occasionally. Like we had like a cardio Zumba dance class, or like a step class or a dance step. If you've never done dance step, it's so much fun. I love it, and it's an excellent cardio workout. But I'll get off track if I start talking about dance step. But I would do those, and that was good because that was like something, and even those classes, they were good cardio workouts. But I would do it like once a week or maybe twice, and I like wouldn't always go because sometimes it'd be like my friends wanted to get dinner at like that time. And so I'd be like, well, I'm like antisocial by nature, so I'm like, if there's an opportunity for me to be somewhat social, I feel like I should probably take that. And so I wouldn't always do it all the time, so it wasn't as consistent as it should have been, especially for me because I have to work harder because I have low metabolism. And I've always been kind of aware of the fact that I just in general probably needed to lose weight for my health, but it's always that kind of thing where you're aware of it but you don't actually like act on it. Like, you know, you kind of need to, but you just like can't. And that's what happened. It was constantly my thoughts like, okay, you gotta eat healthier, you gotta eat healthier. But I just like mentally, I think I was freaking out, and I did the exact opposite. And then in those like next 2 years, I gained like a lot of weight, especially my senior year. I think because of everything was just kind of building, like graduation, internship, job, career. And then I was really fortunate. I did my internship for my major. You have to do a required internship. And I did mine abroad in the summer right after my senior year, so I would graduate at the end of summer. I did mine in London because I had previously studied abroad in London 2 years ago in the summer. Fell in love. I went and I was talking to one of my advisors. They mentioned that you could do the internship abroad if you wanted to. And I was like, oh shoot, I'm going back to England, mother truckers. And that's what I did. I went down, and it was a great experience. I loved it. The only thing was we were doing so much. I mean, it was like 3 months we were there. We, like, for the hour requirements I did not need to be working full time, but all the interns, we were working full time. And that's on top of all the little excursions they do, which are great, and I love them, and I wouldn't have not gone on them. So that was all great, but I think I was so stressed out from working full time and doing all this other stuff that I was just, because I'm an introvert, I'm very like, I need a lot of time to myself to like recharge, and I wasn't getting any of that. So because of that, I was also eating bad. I thought, oh, I'm gonna be walking so much, this will be good for me, I'll have a chance to lose some weight. Maybe I'll even join a gym. Did not join a gym. So just because of all that, I would just feel so hungry at the end of the day because I was exhausted. And so I would just eat. I would try it, like I'd eat salad sometimes, but then sometimes I would just go to Five Guys because there was one around the corner. And that was so bad for me to like do that. But I did it because that's what I just needed at that time. Because I was so like stressed out. So that's where I came from. When I came back from that, I was like, this is where it starts, okay? Came back from that, was like, I'm kind of like the biggest I've ever been in my life. Kind of weigh the most I've ever weighed in my life. And I haven't actually been working out all summer. Let's start going to the gym. So I started going to the gym. And thus started my path into becoming a gym rat. Is that like a rat notion? Gym rat. I'm a gym rat. Now I am. So that was like a long story. Hopefully I'll be able to edit that so it's not like a lot to go through. I just kind of want to get like where I was, my situation before, because even when I started going to the gym, I was not like, this is my weight loss journey, you know? It was like, I just was like, I need to start going to the gym at least like somewhat more regularly because I hadn't all summer. So that's where I was. So when I got back, I started doing Zumba 4 times a week. They offered it like 4 times a week, and I love Zumba. Highly recommend it if you've never done it. Zumba or cardio dance. Half of them are just kind of like cardio dance. I like both pretty equally. So much fun. Good cardio workout. I highly recommend it. It's really, really fun. It's fun if you go with a friend. It's fun if you just go by yourself. Most of the people in there are probably just like by themselves. I'm by myself. I go by myself. It's fun. It's fine. It's super fun. I love to dance. I danced for like a long time when I was young. So it's a cool way to get back into it. And that, I think, was one of the main things that kept me able to form a gym habit, was the fact that I was doing something that I really enjoyed doing. It was never like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym. It was like, I'm excited because I get to go dance. That was just like, so that's one of, I guess if you want like tips, that's one of my tips if you're like trying to get into working out. Find things that you enjoy doing, or at least start with things you enjoy doing so you can like start going regularly and it's not like the worst thing in the world. You don't have to like drag yourself there. You're actually like, I kind of want to go do this. This is fun. If you want to go with a friend, have a friend go with you. That also makes it like you have to like count on each other to be like, all right, we gotta go. We can't like, you know, you're less likely to skip it if like you're going with somebody. Make it a little date. It'll be fun. It'll be cute. You work out. After I started doing Zumba, I started gradually adding in elliptical. I do probably like 30 minutes on the days that they didn't offer Zumba. And so that kind of ended up where I was going like almost every day. I would go to the gym, either be doing a class or elliptical. And then I started doing it in addition to Zumba. Like I do after a Zumba class, I do elliptical afterwards just to like kind of keep my cardio up, because I knew that was, or I thought at the time, like that's the main way I needed to burn fat, right? So I did that. So honestly, that for me, I think probably did the bulk of the weight loss at first, like the biggest chunk of it, because I was going from not working out at all to working out almost every single day, at least like a little bit, at least half an hour, usually more, usually an hour. So that probably did a bulk of it, just because I had come from nothing doing all of this. Obviously there's going to be some sort of change, even if I'm not like perfect in my eating. But after that, I started doing muscle classes. I started with just one, and let me tell you, if you've never done like a strength class, muscle class, if you go, I just recommend it. It's great. It's so good for building strength. It's just overall so good. And toning, it's like, and it does help you lose weight. It's just in a different kind of way. But I started that. The point is, if you go to your first one, you've like probably, and you like don't do it consistently, or you haven't really done it before, you're gonna hate it, and you're gonna hate me, and you're gonna hate yourself. You're like, this is the worst thing in the world. Why am I doing this? And like afterwards, if you have to go downstairs, you're gonna be like, oh, jelly legs, and you're like, be careful, don't fall downstairs, hold on to railings. The first class. So yeah, it's a bitch at first. You want to die, but if you keep going consistently, you get better at it. And it's still like, I mean, I still do them. I'll get into what I do now, but I still consistently do them, and I don't get sore like I would. Like if you only do them once a week, or like when you first start out, the next day you're going to be really, really sore. But if you do them more consistently, you don't really get as sore because you're just constantly working those muscles, which is kind of cool. And I think adding the muscle and strength in is probably when I started seeing the most drastic difference at first, because I was toning and I was adding muscle mass. Because it's harder to see whatever bulk of weight I'd done just from doing cardio mainly, was harder for me to see because it was more gradual, and since you're like your own person watching your body, you see yourself every day, you don't see the change as like drastically, you see it gradually, so it's harder to tell. But with muscle stuff, I think you build tone kind of quickly, if you're doing it right, if you're doing it in a certain way. And so then just seeing that like different like definition of parts of my arms, I was like, ooh. And even like people around me who like I went to other classes were like, are you doing this muscle class? Do you like it? Is that working? Because you look great. I'm like, oh my god, thank you so much. Yes, it is working. I know that. And I talk about it because I love talking about myself and I love people giving me compliments. Isn't that just the best thing in the world? I feel like I'm talking really, really fast. I'm sorry. I'm trying to like not talk so quickly and enunciate all of my words, but sometimes I just talk really fast. So around that point I was kind of evening out and I was like plateauing weight-wise. I think because I was probably still losing a little weight, but then at the same time building muscle mass. And I know if you're like starting doing muscle mass and you're like, why am I gaining weight, or why am I like not losing any if I'm doing all this, it's because you may be simultaneously losing weight, but also you're gaining weight, so it kind of evens it out. But the weight you're gaining is good. It's muscle mass. It's like positive. You're building up your muscles. So that's not like, don't get freaked out if that's like, you know, just know that might be what's happening if you're doing more strength when you like, you know, first start out doing it. So for a while, that was kind of my issue, was that I was like not really going anywhere. And at this point, I was doing good on the fitness portion, but I'm still like, I hadn't figured out the health and the nutrition side of it. I was like, you know, I'm more aware of it. I was like trying, but I'd still would snack and I would like do that thing where you think you're hungry but you're really just bored and you just kind of eat out of boredom. If you have that, you know what that is. And just because I've always snacked and like done that, and I've always been the kind of person who like, I always wanted to finish my plate. Because I just didn't like leaving stuff on the plate. I felt like bad throwing out food, so that's always been an issue for me. So it's more of like trying to control your portion size and whatever. We'll get into that in my next video. I want to talk, that's like, I kind of want to break this up a little bit and just talk about how I lost all this bulk of weight at the beginning and kind of give you my like backstory, what I'm doing right now. And then in my next video, I'm going to talk about what I'm currently doing that is like really setting me in the right direction and helping me continue on this journey where like I felt kind of stagnant for a little bit because I was like at this like weight level that I'm like, I'm working out so much and yet I'm not like getting anywhere. And I started using this app, and I don't want to go into detail because I want to make that its own video, so definitely watch that when I put it up. I'm really excited because it gets me really excited, so I just want to like, because I see so much positive results from it, I just want to talk about it. But so that's gonna be another video. But the point is, I was kind of, yeah, at that point I was kind of frustrated that my weight was kind of staying the same, even though I'm so strong. I'm like, it just feels so good to be so strong, and everything, I look a lot better, but I'm still like, there's still weight, especially around like the midsection, that's like the hardest to get rid of, that I'm like, how do I get this down? How do I do this? So I was like, okay, well maybe I was probably doing like 3 or 4 strength classes a week. So I was like, well maybe I should not be doing as much muscle, and maybe I'll just do, so I cut out 1 or 2 of those. I still might go to 3 sometimes. I'd either do 2 or 3 a week now. And I'll try to add some more like aerobic exercise back in. Because at that time where I was adding more muscle classes in, I would kind of like not do the elliptical as much, like before and after classes. So I added that back in. I do at least like 10 or 15 minutes after every class I do, whether it's Zumba or a strength class. I think that's helped a little bit. I also started swimming again, which I swam on a league when I was younger. Didn't like it. Never liked doing it. My parents basically like made me do it because I'm good at it. It's not bragging, and my parents say it all the time to try to get me to do it. They're like, you're so good at it. And it's true because my dad is a really good swimmer. My aunt is a really good swimmer. It's just like kind of in my genes. I never wanted to be like, I was just like, I don't really enjoy this a lot. But I started doing it again because I was like, alright, if it's gonna be more aerobic exercise, I don't have to go on like an interval, I can just kind of like go and do my thing, and we'll see how this works, just to like maybe push myself a little bit out of my comfort zone and see if it would help. So I've been starting doing that, and I think that's been good so far. I have an Apple Watch now, which is waterproof, so I can track my distance, because sometimes I forget and I'm like, is that 350 or is that 400? So it really helps to have the Apple Watch, which I can do. If you guys want, let me know. I was thinking of doing like a review of my Apple Watch and talk about how it's helped me in this, because that's like one of the main reasons I got it. was to help me with all of this stuff. And so far it's been really helpful, but I can just do a general review of that too if you guys are interested. I also started doing plateau, which if you don't know is a mix of Pilates and yoga. I can't do yoga, it's just too slow for me. I need to be like doing more things or moving, or I can't hold a certain pose for too long, so I'm like, just let's keep going. But plateau, or at least the classes I take with plateau and the teacher I take it with, I like it a lot. Because it's, even in like, I haven't been taking it for a long time, probably like a month or two at this point, and it's already, my flexibility is like getting so much better. And I used to dance, like I said, so it's like makes me think about dancing. Like, even though I dance for cardio, the like flexibility stuff is not something you really work on in Zumba. So just that's kind of cool to like start building that flexibility again, as well as work on my balance, which is great because a lot of times if you're doing, even in strength classes, if you're doing like lunges off the step or something, I'm like wiggling, like falling over, and so it's helping with my balance. And it's just, I think it's also, I mean, I track on the workout, it's a good workout, I burn a lot of calories doing it. It's just a general good thing. So if you don't like yoga because you think it's too slow, but you still kind of want to do something that's like flexibility, balance, and still a good workout, I recommend plateau if you can find it somewhere. They haven't had it at my gym, so I take that now and I really like that. And I read somewhere that it takes 66 days to build a habit. I don't know if that's like a true thing, but I definitely feel like it might be somewhat true because I definitely took like that much time, and now it is a habit. It's even like more a habit. It's part of my life now. Like it sounds so cheesy to be like, it's a lifestyle, but it kind of is. And I, you know, past Viv is like looking at me being like, who are you going to the gym every day? Like, I don't know that girl, but it just makes me happy. Now it's like, I'm not like, I have to do it to lose weight, blah, blah, blah. It's like I genuinely want to go because like those endorphins are real. Like, it does put you in a good mood, and it helps with if you have anxiety or I think depression could help with too. I mean, that helps with that too. Like those endorphins really help with that. And it just made me a lot more confident, which if you are someone who is prey to the beauty standards and any sort of fat shaming or anything like that, you know, confidence is like a huge thing. This helps even like if I wasn't losing weight from it, I still just feel so much more confident. For some reason, it's just like it helped with that a lot. And even one of my instructors who teaches muscle classes, she also teaches plyo classes I take, wants me to become an instructor now. And for me to like go from being how heavy I was to still being, I'm still heavy, like I'm still on my journey. And my thing is like, I'll probably keep this in kind of like a series and just keep updating you and help myself keep on track and like keep going and like meet my like health goals. But for someone who's like, even I'm still like a heavy big fat person, I'm fit, but for her to be like, oh, you're really fit and your like form is really good and I think you'd be like a good instructor. I'm a shy person, like I said, I'm an introvert, but that's still, I might do that. Like I think I might actually do that. I'm not the thinnest person, I'm not a thin person at all, but I'm still fit. Like I can still do all the things that we do in muscle classes, or you know, and it's like not like, it's hard because it's a good workout, but it's not like I'm not struggling. I can do it and my form is good. That's another thing if you're going to get into working out, especially with any sort of strength, weights, anything like that that involves, I mean, it all involves your body. So just in general, I'm not, like I said, if I do become an instructor, I will have probably to take like courses and get licensed and all that. So I will actually be able to like really tell you things, but I don't want to give you too many like facts that aren't fact. Form is very important. There's certain like things you have to like listen to the instructors if they tell you how to do things form-wise, because if you don't, then you can hurt yourself. So just keep that in mind, and also just don't be intimidated to go to classes or to go to the gym at all. Because here's the thing, not everyone that goes to a gym is a tiny little fit buff person. It's everybody, because everyone's trying to keep in shape. It's people who are really, really fit and are trying to stay fit. It's people who are like in the middle, like me, and there's people who are like the first time they've ever been trying to lose weight, or just like trying to like start a gym habit, who don't know what they're doing at all. No one cares. Like, just do it, you know? Even if you go to a class, I feel like, I know the first few times I ever went to like any classes, I was always like, oh, you know, you get that like feeling where it's like, oof. Or maybe it's just me because I'm like that, but don't worry about it. Like, I stand at the front in all my classes now because I like to see my form and I like to make sure I'm doing stuff right. But I used to always be in the back. And that's, I mean, yeah, if your first thing and you're like shy about it, just go stand in the back. It doesn't matter where you stand or what you're doing. Half people like will do their own modifications for stuff. I do modifications for stuff. No one's gonna look at you. Like, no one cares. It's just like, don't worry about it, honestly. Just do it. I know that's easier like said than done, but trust me, because I've been in that position where I was like so worried that everyone was like looking at me if I did anything different than the instructor, or if I like took a break out of it. And I like pull out of exercise, you know, like if we're doing something and I'm like, my muscles are burning or something, I'll like stand up and be like, oh my god, but then I'll try to go back into it and just try to keep going. But like, I don't feel weird about that. I'm like, this is just, you just listen to your body, you know, don't overdo it, but still push yourself, you know? So that's kind of my whole fitnessy spiel. As far as nutrition, what I can say, like I said, I wasn't perfect on it. I've now kind of like started doing better about it. I don't want to talk about that because I'm gonna put that in my next video. I don't want to like give too much away because I just want to like keep that all in the other video. But what I can tell you is that I started logging my water intake back when I was starting, and that definitely helps because in general we're all probably not drinking enough water. Just because it's good for you, you need to drink water. And it's good for you, and it does help you curb any cravings, or, you know, because you feel more full. And sometimes you're not necessarily hungry, you're just kind of thirsty. And even all of this has made me more aware of my body in general. Because I'll notice if I get like a little bit of a headache, I'll kind of be like, oh, okay, I need to drink some water, or I need to eat something. And then I'll do that and I'll be like, yep, headache's gone, that's what it was. You really do need to like, you know, listen to your body and not be like, don't starve yourself, you know, and don't like work out so crazy hard. You have to listen to what your body wants. For the water logging, I use the health app on my iPhone. It's just like you put in, like, I have a 21-ounce bottle that was knocked over on the floor and I didn't notice, so hopefully the floor is not all wet now. And I use that and I just drink from that like all day when I work, especially if you're working out, you need to stay hydrated. So I just log it on the health app on my iPhone. I used to use this app called Plant Nanny, where you would get this like cute little plant, you could like pick which one, you could pick a cute little pot to put it in, and you would like, every time you drink an increment of water, you would like fill it up and it'd be like, woo, woo, and I'd go like that, and you'd be like, oh my god, thanks for feeding me. And that was like kind of like a fun way to like make sure you drank water. But the problem with that was eventually I like, at first it worked, but then I started like cheating and just kind of like filling it up, because if you didn't like give it water all the time, the plant would die. So that was kind of your incentive, was to keep it alive. But I think eventually I was just like, I don't want to see my plant die, so I'd like fill it up, but I wasn't actually drinking the water. So the thing with this is there's not really like an incentive, the health app. It's just like, you have to do it for you. You have to just do it because you know you need to drink the water. You're not really getting anything. For some reason that works better when there's not that kind of weird incentive, even though usually incentives work pretty well. I think that's it. I'm sure I'll remember more stuff later. I just wanted to like share that. I know it like does, like I said before, it invites a lot of criticism, but I know watching other people's inspired me, and so I kind of want to do the same thing. And it's just also a way for me to like keep up my excitement about it and log it and like hold myself accountable and do all these things. But yeah, I know watching other people's was helpful, so I'm like, why don't I do it? Because now I'm doing like a similar thing, and if people are in my situation, it's easier to like listen to tips or like stories from people who are like you versus like someone who's been skinny their whole life telling you how to do something. It's like, great, like, sorry, I can't listen to you say this because you don't know what like I've been through or what people like me might have been through or something. But I don't want to like belittle anyone else or think that, even if I maybe haven't been like the hugest person in the world, I've still felt those pressures because society does that to people, women in particular. Makes you feel, that's what I was talking about, how I may have had like body dysmorphia in high school, and I didn't even, or just like my whole life, and I didn't even like realize it, because looking back I was like, I'm so much thinner than I am now, but I know back then I thought I was so fat. So you just don't know how it like, you know, affects other people. So, but yeah, this is my story. This is not a journey. I know it's kind of corny to call it like a weight loss fitness journey. Sounds like we're going to or I will say it's, I mean, you can even tell, like compare my first two videos I filmed that I put up, my go-to makeup look and that like Louis XIV makeup look. Those were both filmed in April. And even though the setup's a little different, I think you can still just tell in like my face and my like arms like right here how different I look, which is so interesting to me and so like cool to me because it's something I've like always been like about, you know? But yeah, you can even tell on that like how much, like I'll try to find photos that show a good, that's the other thing is I don't, because I didn't like set out to do this, I don't have like great before and after photos. I will try to give you something and I think I'm gonna try to start taking photos like that. It just depends on what I'm like comfortable with putting out there for the entire internet. But yeah, even just that, it's interesting to see. And a lot of this is like strength classes. It's muscle and toning. That's, I feel like I'm probably gonna miss a lot of stuff that I wanted to talk about. That's why I wrote it all down, just to like make sure I got the main points. I know that was probably a lot more like a backstory about me than you either needed to know or cared to know, but I just kind of wanted to give a sense of where I was going and just more tell my story. In the next video I'm going to talk about this app that I'm using in conjunction with like my Apple Watch and talk about how that is helping me, because since I've been doing that I've lost 10 pounds. I've kind of broke through that point I was at where I was like not really like going anywhere but consistently working out but like not really like going anywhere weight wise. Now I think I found a way to like keep going in a healthy direction. I'm excited to talk about that, but I'm gonna do it all in the next video because this one is like gonna be really long, I'm sure. I hope you guys like that. I hope that was like helpful for people. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this, hit that like button. If you want to see more stuff like this, let me know in the comments. Subscribe, please. I'm gonna do, I think, some videos like this, maybe talk more about fitness and stuff, and I may start like a series, maybe, kind of. But I think mainly we'll kind of do like fashion, beauty, skincare, that kind of stuff, products, testing stuff. So if you're like also interested in that, that's another reason to click that subscribe button, you know. I think that's it. Thank you guys. I will see you next time. Bye.